Okay, the persuasive speech has been a bit of a struggle for me. My first topic was going to be, I was going to tell you to not eat so much sugar because sugar is unhealthy, and I've stopped eating sugar and it's been good for my health. But I can't stand when people tell me what to do or what to eat, and the persuasive speech was a bit of a struggle for me. And so I kind of had a solution. I'm on a farm in the middle of North Dakota, and it's the day before the 4th of July. We're kind of on our family summer vacation. And on the drive out here, I was reminded of a story from this book called Who Ordered This Truckload of Dung by Ajahn Brahm, who's like a Buddhist monk. It was about this emperor who was looking for a philosophy to live his life so that he would be happier and have a better sense of well-being and just to kind of be a better person. In the story, he kind of came to the conclusion that if he had the answer to 3 questions, that he would have the solution to those problems. The 3 questions were, when is the most important time? Who is the most important person? And what is the most important thing for you to be doing with your time that you do have, once you realize when that most important time is? And I'll give you a few seconds to come up with an answer to those questions for yourself. In the story, he found a hermit, and the hermit had the answers to those 3 questions. And he believed that the answers to those questions are the secret to boosting your level of happiness, improving your sense of well-being, and enhancing all your relationships with other people. Is it possible for you to be happier, to have a better sense of well-being, to maybe have less fear and worry? And if you believe that the answered yes to any of those questions, I think the strategy that the book suggested will improve those things, will boost your happiness, sense of well-being, and overall satisfaction with life. And to me, that's kind of the ill. The ill is that that we tend to be kind of worrisome. I know I do in my life, and the blame for that is societal. In today's world, we work many hours. We spend less time with family, friends, and there's more pressure than ever before to make ends meet and be successful. We tend to lose our focus about what is important in life and tend to try to gain material things, and we spend more time now working than we ever have before in the history of our society. Again, because I believe we are so busy trying to gain material wealth and keep up with people that have better and more things than we do. And again, I think the cure to that problem, or a part of maybe improving that situation, is in the method suggestions that were in that book, Who Ordered a Truckload of Dung, and in specific in that story, the 3 guiding questions. I think that you can have a general sense of well-being if you constantly remind yourself of those questions and the answers to those questions. And that's what I'm going to do in this speech, is I'm going to talk about those 3 questions and what Ajahn Brahm suggests are the answers to those questions. And again, the first question is, what is the most important time? And most people get this one right. The most important time is right now, and really pulling yourself into the moment. I know what kind of led me is on the drive out here. It's really a long and a boring flat drive, and I'm like, I wanted to get it over with, and I wanted to get to the farm here in North Dakota as quickly as I could, because it was kind of getting boring. But the answer to that question is right now, the current moment. What you're doing at this moment in time, and when I pulled myself back into the moment and I thought about what am I doing right now, I kind of started to look at the scenery, and it really wasn't that boring. It wasn't ugly, and I started to focus on the tape that I was listening to, which was kind of it was a book on tape that was about spiritual growth, and I started really focusing on that and living in the moment. And it helps, and I find that, like in my classroom as a teacher, sometimes I'm thinking I wish the weekend was here. I'm thinking about what am I going to have for lunch, instead of just focusing on where I'm at and what I'm doing at any given time. And that teaching is in all different religions, is that really living in the moment is important. And so if you can ask yourself that question, if you're worried about the past, or you're thinking about the future, or you're regretting something that happened in the past, if you pull yourself back to right now, to this moment, it'll help relieve a lot of that fear of the future and worry about the past. And the second question: who is the most important person? And a lot of people miss this one. A lot of times they'll say, "Well, it's me," or it's God, or it's something like that. But the most important person, according to the hermit that the emperor found, is the person that you're with, whoever that person is. And I know, again, this answer to this question has been really helpful to me, especially in a lot of different situations. In my job, sometimes, again, I'm not really in the moment, or I'm thinking about something other than the person, the students that I'm with, and as a teacher, it's made me a better teacher, because I'm like, okay, what can I do to help this student? What can I do to make my student learn math better? I'm a math teacher. What can I do to get this concept across, or help them pass this test that's coming up for them? In my marriage, if I'm with my wife, I think about, well, what can I do to, I think about my wife and how she is what my focus should be when I'm with my wife at that current moment. So if I'm with my kids, I think about who is the most important person. It's my kids, and how can I help my relationship with them. And then sometimes I'm by myself, and if I'm by myself, then I'm the most important person. I tend to work out a lot. I go on long bike rides, and I'm the most important person when I'm by myself, and I can think about, well, what can I do to make my life better? And I think about that when I'm by myself. So the answer to that second question is, who is the most important person? And it's whoever that person is that you're with at any given time. And the answer to the third question, what is the most important thing for you to be doing? And according to the hermit, and according to the book Who Ordered This Truckload of Dung, it's to be showing care or concern, or giving care to that person that you're with, to that most important person. And again, to me, life is about relationships and improving and getting along with your fellow man better. And I know that I'm much happier when I'm not thinking about my own little plans and my own little worries, my own little fears and my concerns about the future and worries about the past. But if I think about the relationships, and I think about what can I give to this relationship versus what can I get from it, I tend to be a better father to my kids. When I think about how can I help my kids get through a situation? How can I do something for my wife that's going to make her better? Or how can I just be there to listen? It's made me a way better listener. I've always struggled with being a listener, but if I'm sitting with someone, I said, who's the most important person here? And it's the other person. I listen to them, and I think about what they have to tell me, and I listen better. When I find myself alone, when I'm working out, I think about, okay, living in this moment, and it makes my workouts go better. It makes me enjoy life a whole lot better. So in conclusion, the three questions that will help you, will boost your happiness, enhance your relationships, and increase your sense of well-being. The first one is, what is the most important time? And that is right now. Who is the most important person? And that is whoever it is that you're with. And what is the most important thing for you to be doing? And that's showing care and concern for that other person. I think if you get those questions memorized in your head and you think about them on a constant basis, it will boost your level of happiness, it will enhance your relationships with others, and it will improve your sense of well-being. Because I know that whenever I pull myself back to those three guiding questions, it has done exactly that for me. The book that I pulled this from is Who Ordered This Truckload of Dung. It has some other suggestions. There's actually a section on fear of public speaking. It's said to have fun when you public speak. So that book comes by me highly recommended. It has some very good suggestions on living your life, and it has some very humorous stories too. So if you have an interest in reading a good book, this is a great book to read. Okay, I think I'm ready now. Ha ha ha! Ho ho ho! Hope nobody's listening to me.